I found my girlfriend's secret chat with my boss. I resigned quietly. Then on my last day, I sent HR the screenshots. He was fired. She was evicted. I moved on. I, 28 male, always thought I was a pretty good judge of character. It's unsettling to learn you were wrong about everything. My girlfriend, Hannah, 26, and I have been together for 3 years, living together for 2. I genuinely thought we were building a future. I work as a data analyst for a mid-sized tech firm. For the past year, my boss, Lawrence, 40, a man I viewed as a mentor, had been dangling a senior analyst promotion in front of me. He's one of those effortlessly charismatic corporate types, all expensive suits and firm handshakes. I trusted him. Lately, though, something felt off. The promotion timeline kept shifting, and I was getting the sense I was being strung along. Call it a gut feeling. I'd been casually browsed job boards for a few weeks. Nothing serious, just keeping my options open. I even had a preliminary phone screener with another company, more out of curiosity than anything else. Then, last Tuesday, my gut feeling was proven right in the most brutal way imaginable. Hannah left her iPad on the coffee table. This wasn't unusual. We often shared it. But as I walked past, the screen lit up with a notification from a messaging app. The contact was L. The preview text was small, but it was enough to stop me cold. He's still convinced that promotion is real. Poor little guy. My blood turned to ice. It had to be Lawrence. I'm not proud of what I did next, but I don't regret it. I opened the app. It was her account, and the chat history with L went back 6 months. It was Lawrence. And it was a nightmare. It wasn't just a physical affair, though there was plenty of evidence of that. It was the sheer, unadulterated contempt they had for me. They mocked everything. My work ethic, the shirts I wore, my hobbies, a heartfelt birthday gift I'd given her. But the real devastation was the professional sabotage. Lawrence was feeding her confidential information about my performance reviews before I ever saw them. He was telling her about projects I was being considered for, then laughing with her about how he was going to assign them to someone else to keep me hungry. That senior analyst promotion, the one I was pulling 60-hour weeks to earn, it was a complete fiction, a management tool, a carrot on a stick to keep his workhorse productive. One message from Lawrence burned itself into my memory. Lawrence, he's a good workhorse, does the work of 2 people for the price of 1. Can't lose that, can we? I'll keep stringing him along until the Q4 reports are done. And Hannah's reply, the one that truly broke me. Hannah, my hard-working man, just make sure he gets a big enough bonus to pay for that trip to Italy I want. You can come meet us there, lol. I was sitting on my own couch, in the apartment where I paid 70% of the bills, reading about how my life was a joke to the 2 people I trusted most in the world. There was no yelling, no throwing things. The hot rage I expected never came. Instead, a strange, icy calm settled over me. This wasn't a problem for a screaming match. This was a problem that required a scalpel. I spent the next hour meticulously screenshotting every part of their conversation. The romantic texts, the professional backstabbing, the casual way Lawrence shared sensitive company data, the mocking of our life together. Everything. I saved the images to my phone, then uploaded them to 3 separate, secure cloud drives. I went to my desk and opened my laptop. That phone screener I'd had last week suddenly felt like a lifeline. I emailed the recruiter back immediately, expressing my enthusiastic interest in moving forward with the process. Then, I spent the rest of the night tailoring my resume and applying to 5 other senior analyst positions that were a perfect fit. The next morning, I woke up, made coffee, and kissed a sleepy Hannah goodbye as she left for her job at a boutique. I was a ghost. She didn't sense a thing. The recruiter from the first company emailed me back within an hour, asking to schedule a technical interview. The next week was a blur of interviews. I was fueled by a cold, quiet fury. By the following Monday, I had 2 competing job offers. One of them, from the company I'd contacted first, was a 20% salary increase, a better title, and fully remote. I accepted it on the spot. The next day, Tuesday, exactly 1 week after I discovered the messages, I walked into Lawrence's office and placed my resignation letter on his desk. Standard 2 weeks notice. The look on his face was a perfect blend of surprise and irritation. Whoa, Austin, what's this? A bit sudden, isn't it? We were just talking about your future here. A better opportunity came up, I said, my voice flat and devoid of emotion. It was too good to pass up. He leaned back in his chair, his smug corporate smirk returning. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. I hope they're paying you well. You're leaving a lot on the table here, you know. That promotion. I know, I said. It's a shame. My last day will be 2 Fridays from now. I turned and walked out before he could say anything else. Telling Hannah that night was a preview of the entitlement to come. Her first question wasn't about my happiness or career. You what? You quit your job without even talking to me? What about our plans? The apartment? You know I can't afford this place on my own. I'll cover my share for another month after I'm gone to give you time to sort things out, I said calmly. A crucial detail was suddenly at the forefront of my mind. The lease is solely in my name. She was fuming, but she thinks this is about me being impulsive and selfish. She has no idea what's really happening. I have 9 more work days. Lawrence is already acting like a scorned king, piling miserable handover tasks on my desk. Hannah is giving me the silent treatment, punctuated by loud theatrical sighs about her precarious financial future. They think they're still in control. They have no idea I'm just running out the clock. Update 1. This has been the longest and most clarifying week of my life. Living with Hannah while knowing the truth has been an exercise in extreme self-control. Her entitlement, now that her comfortable life is threatened, is off the charts. First came the guilt trips. She started leaving travel magazines for Italy open on the kitchen counter. She'd accidentally leave her banking app open on her phone where I could see her low balance. It was so transparently manipulative. I just don't understand why you'd be so selfish, Austin, she said one night, her voice dripping with calculated sadness. After everything we've built. I just looked at her. Things change, I said. The absence of an emotional fight was clearly maddening for her. She was baiting me, wanting me to yell so she could play the victim. I refused to give her the satisfaction. Work was its own special kind of hell. Lawrence was on a relentless power trip. In team meetings, he'd make passive-aggressive jabs. Let's get Austin's input while we still have him. Hopefully, his new company appreciates loyalty. The rest of the team would just stare awkwardly at their keyboards. He made a big show of giving a key project, one he'd previously promised me, to a junior analyst, announcing, "We need to start transitioning responsibilities to people who are committed to the team's future." Then came the moment that confirmed every decision I'd made. He called me into his office, closed the door, and put on his concerned mentor mask. "Listen, Austin," he began, his voice low and serious. "I think you're making a mistake. I pulled some strings with the higher-ups. That promotion we discussed, we can fast-track it. Make it official at the end of the quarter. We'll even throw in a 5% raise. How does that sound? A 5% raise, the fake promotion made official." It was the exact pathetic breadcrumb he and Hannah had joked about. I almost laughed out loud. "Lawrence, I appreciate the offer, but my mind is made up," I said. "My new role is a significant step up." He scoffed. "A step up? Where? That little startup, Innovatech? Good luck with that. They pivot every 6 months." He was guessing a company name, trying to get a reaction. I just nodded. Let him think he knows. The dirtiest trick came from Hannah 3 days ago. She came to me, crying, and to her credit, the tears looked real. She confessed to feeling distant from me and that she'd made a mistake. She admitted to having a brief emotional connection with someone else but swore it was over and meant nothing. She claimed she was just scared about me quitting my job, and that's why she was acting out. It was a classic preemptive strike. She must have sensed that something was seriously wrong and was trying to get ahead of the story. She was testing the waters, trying to frame the narrative as a minor indiscretion she could be forgiven for. I looked at her, the woman I had loved, and felt a profound emptiness. "I'm sorry you feel that way, Hannah," I said, my voice neutral. My non-reaction threw her. Frustration flickered across her face. Then she played her final card. "I spoke to Lawrence," she said, trying to sound casual. "He told me he offered you the promotion. He really wants you to stay. He thinks you're a huge asset." The sheer audacity of using my saboteur as a character witness was breathtaking. It was the final confirmation I needed. I've spent the last week quietly packing my essential belongings into boxes and moving them to a small storage unit. I told her I was just decluttering to make things easier for her when she finds a new roommate. She bought it. My new apartment is secured and the lease is signed. I've also been busy. I spent hours organizing the screenshots into a single, chronologically ordered PDF. I added annotations, highlighting the most damning messages, the sharing of confidential company data, the admission of a fabricated promotion, and the unprofessional nature of their relationship. It's a clean, undeniable, professional document of his misconduct. Tomorrow is my last day. My exit interview with HR is at 3 p.m. The PDF is saved on my phone, ready to be attached to an email. The subject line is drafted. Formal complaint and documentation of unethical conduct by manager Lawrence Finch. I feel strangely peaceful. The hurricane is coming for them. All I have to do is press send. Update 2, it's done. I walked into the office this morning with a small box for my desk items. There was a cheap sheet cake in the break room that said, "Good luck, Austin," in waxy blue frosting. Lawrence made a big show of cutting the first piece and handing it to me with a wide, fake smile. "No hard feelings, buddy," he said, clapping my shoulder. "The corporate world is a battlefield. You gotta look out for number one." "You have no idea how right you are, Lawrence," I replied with a small, that unreadable smile. I spent the morning being excruciatingly helpful, documenting everything for the handover. I wanted my record as an employee to be flawless. At 2:45 p.m., my calendar notification popped up. Exit interview, Gloria, HR. I walked to the HR suite, my heart beating a steady, determined rhythm. Gloria, the HR director, is a no-nonsense woman in her 50s who has seen it all. She began with the standard script. "Why are you leaving? What did you enjoy about your role? What could be improved?" I gave her the professional, pre-rehearsed answers. I found a role that better aligns with my long-term career goals. The team environment was challenging at times, but I value the experience I gained. Gloria was typing, nodding, clearly just going through the motions. "Okay, and is there anything else you'd like to add?" she asked, already looking like she was ready to close her folder. "Yes, actually," I said, my voice firm and clear. "My departure is a direct result of a hostile and deeply unprofessional environment created by my direct manager, Lawrence Finch." She stopped typing. Her full attention snapped to me. "Those are very serious allegations, Austin." "I know," I said, "and I have documented proof." I took a breath. "I am about to send you an email. It contains a PDF with time-stamped evidence of Lawrence sharing confidential company information, admitting to fabricating a promotion to manipulate my workload, and engaging in an inappropriate relationship with my partner, all of which has caused me significant distress." I pulled out my phone, attached the meticulously prepared PDF to the drafted email, and pressed send. I looked at Gloria. The email has been sent. Her face was a mask of professional neutrality, but I saw her eyes widen as she opened the email on her monitor. She clicked open the PDF. She scrolled and scrolled. The silence in the room was absolute, broken only by the quiet clicks of her mouse. I watched her pause on the annotated sections detailing his breach of confidentiality. I saw her expression harden as she read the messages where they mocked me. After what felt like an eternity, she looked up. The bored HR drone was gone, replaced by a corporate sentinel protecting her company from a massive liability. "Mr. Davies," she said, her tone now ice. "Thank you for bringing this to our attention in such a clear and documented manner. We take these matters with the utmost seriousness. A full investigation will be launched, effective immediately. I want to assure you, your decision to leave will not result in a negative reference from this company." I nodded, stood up, and shook her hand. That's all I could ask for. I walked out of her office, collected my box, and headed for the exit. I saw Lawrence across the office, laughing with another manager. He caught my eye and gave me a little good luck wave. I just nodded back and kept walking. Then I went home. Hannah was on the couch scrolling through her phone, looking bored. She glanced up. "You're home early." "It was my last day," I said, setting my box down by the door. "Oh, right." She went back to her phone. I stood there for a moment, watching her, the woman who had laughed at my dreams with my boss. "Hannah," I said. My voice was quiet, but it sliced through the silence. She looked up, annoyed. "I know about you and Lawrence." The color drained from her face. Her body went rigid. For the first time in months, I saw a genuine, unfiltered emotion from her. Pure, gut-wrenching panic. What are you talking about? She stammered. I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna argue. I just want you to know that I know, I continued, my voice level. The lease on this apartment is in my name only. I need you to have your things packed and be gone by Sunday evening. That gives you 3 days. I think that's fair. She shot up from the couch, denial kicking in. You're crazy. You're making things up because you're stressed about your new job. I saw the messages, Hannah, on the iPad, the ones where you two joke about the fake promotion he was using to keep me working late. The ones where you plan to meet up. All of them. The denial shattered, replaced by white-hot fury. You went through my private messages? That's insane. You have no right. And you had no right to conspire with my boss to sabotage my career and emotionally manipulate me, I shot back, my voice finally rising. He promised you things, didn't he? A better lifestyle? What do you think happens to those promises now that he's about to lose his job? Her eyes widened in horror. What did you do? I told the truth, backed by evidence. I sent HR a detailed report of his conduct. His career at that company is over. She just stared at me, her mouth opening and closing silently. The entire foundation of her secret life, her leverage, her affair, her financial safety net, had just been obliterated. And she was only just beginning to understand it. You can't do this, she whispered, her tears a mixture of rage and self-pity. You can't just kick me out. I have nowhere to go. That sounds like a problem you'll have to solve, I said, turning and walking to the bedroom to pack an overnight bag. I wasn't spending another minute under that roof with her. Sunday, Hannah? Be gone. I left her standing alone in the living room, a storm of her own making finally breaking right on top of her. Final update. It's been 2 months. Life is quiet, and I'm finally realizing how much I needed that quiet. The fallout was as messy and satisfying as I'd anticipated. I got a call a week after my departure from Catherine, a former coworker I trusted. She told me the office was in chaos. Lawrence was put on administrative leave the day after my exit interview. He was officially terminated about a week after that. The official reason cited in the company memo was gross misconduct and a severe breach of company confidentiality protocols. The affair was the office gossip, but the documented, professional sabotage was the legal hammer that sealed his fate. He didn't fight it. He was just gone. Hannah, predictably, did not go quietly. She spent the next 3 days bombarding my phone with every tactic in the book. Screaming voicemails, tearful I can change texts, and messages from her friends calling me a monster. When Sunday came, I brought 2 of my friends with me to the apartment to move my furniture. She was there, frantically shoving clothes into duffel bags amidst a sea of cardboard boxes. She looked exhausted and furious. From what I could piece together from her angry muttering, she had called Lawrence for help. He apparently told her to lose his number and that he had his own legal crap to deal with. Her safety net, the man who was supposed to fund her life, had cut her loose the second he lost his power. As we were moving my couch, I saw the ridiculously expensive Breville espresso machine on the counter, the one she insisted we needed. I remembered her text to Lawrence about my bonus paying for their trips. I stopped and pointed at it. I'm selling that. She shot me a look of pure hatred but said nothing. She knew she had no ground left to stand on. I heard later from a mutual acquaintance what happened next. Hannah, remembering Lawrence's snide comment, actually drove to the physical office of Innovatech, the startup he had named. She apparently went to their reception and demanded to see me, causing a confusing scene until the receptionist confirmed they had no employee by my name. The public humiliation of her chasing a phantom lead provided a small, grim sense of satisfaction. Last I heard, she moved back in with her parents 3 hours away. I sold the espresso machine on Facebook Marketplace for $400. I called it my severance package and used the money to buy a huge, comfortable armchair for my new place. It felt like a worthy trade. My new job is everything the old one wasn't. The work is challenging, my colleagues are professional, and my boss is a normal person who talks about her garden. The amount of mental energy that's freed up when you're not living in a state of constant low-grade betrayal is astounding. I won't pretend it's a perfect, happy ending. It's not. There are nights I feel a pang of something, not for Hannah, but for the 3 years I lost, for the future I thought I was building. Grieving for a life that turned out to be a well-constructed lie is a strange, hollow process. But I'm rebuilding. I'm reconnecting with friends, enjoying my own space, and remembering what it feels like to trust my own judgment again. A few weeks ago, I got a short message on LinkedIn from Gloria, the HR director. "Gloria, hope you're well, Austin. Just wanted to say thank you again. You helped us address a significant issue. Wishing you all the best in your new role." I didn't orchestrate some grand, explosive revenge. I simply documented the truth, removed myself from the blast radius, and allowed their own actions to create the consequences. They built their own guillotine. I just handed them the rope. And then, I moved on.